Hello everyone, this is Iyad from Zero to Hero Photography, and in this video I'm going to share with you the new composition that I have learned. I have noticed that in so many TV shows and photos from professional photographers, whether you're using your mobile phone or camera, this technique will help you take a lot of nice shots. I'm going to explain to you what does it mean, why do we use it, and how to use it. But first, smash the like button and stay tuned. As someone who just started to learn about photography, I learned about the basic composition techniques like negative space photography, the rule of thirds photography, and I talked about both of them in previous videos. But lately I learned about the leading lines composition, and it's an amazing technique, and I started noticing it everywhere I go or whenever I watch a movie or a series. Every time I pause the frame or the video, I see how they compose the frame and shot to show the leading lines in that shot, and it's really nice. So what does it actually mean? The leading lines technique means that there are virtual lines guiding the viewer's eyes towards the subject or point of interest in the frame. They can be in straight lines or curved ones, as long as they lead the viewer's eyes towards or in the direction of that subject. Actually, they don't have to lead exactly to the subject, they can be in the background in the same direction of the subject, as long as they virtually hint or point towards the direction of that subject, or maybe the direction that the subject is going to. By the way, many photographers follow the rule of thirds whenever they use the leading lines technique, because putting them together gives the photo more depth and sense of movement. You can understand or learn more about the rule of thirds in the above link in my previous video that I talked about it. Getting back to the leading lines technique, where can we find the lines? The lines can be found anywhere. They can be formed from the stairs in the photo, or maybe fence, trees, wires, or anything else. Even now in my video, you can see the lines formed from the frames, the shelves behind me, or even the door frame on the top. They're all in a way leading towards the subject, which is me in this frame. Again, the lines don't have to directly point at the subject, but they can be in the same direction of the subject, as long as they're leading the lines of the viewer towards or in the same direction of the point of interest. Here's our quick photo shoot in an area in Qatar called the Hale Night Market, where Kirsty is posing at the end of the yellow box as if there are virtual lines leading towards her. The question here is, can we create lines in our photo? Well, yes and no. No, because we can't simply just draw the lines in our photo. We're not painters. However, once we understand the concept, we can start seeing the lines in any shot we want to take, or maybe move our subject towards the corner or area where the lines are directing towards it. For example, placing a subject in the corner of any room can show us how the walls direct the viewer's eyes towards the subject. Or placing the subject on a bench in a park. Instead of taking a picture of the subject sitting on the bench, covering the bench lines, we can just move the subject in a way, sitting at the end of the bench, and see how the lines are leading towards the subject. So once we crack the code and understand the concept, we can create the lines in our frames and shots. Why using the leading lines technique? What are the benefits of using it? One, it forms extra depth in the photo. Because you feel that the subject is far away from the viewer's eyes, or maybe the subject is heading towards a further point in the photo from the viewer's eyes. It can also give the viewer the feeling of movement or dynamicity, because the lines are taking the viewer's eyes towards that point. And in my point of view, I feel like the leading lines make the photo neater and nicer. What are the main types of lines in this technique? There are basically two types. The first one is the one-point lines, where all the lines are pointing towards the center of the photo, leading the viewer's eyes towards the subject. The second type is the angled lines. Take this example. You have a wall with a texture of lines in it, and the subject standing in front of it. If you place the camera right next to the wall, you will lose the lines and see only the subject in the lens. And if you place the camera in front of the wall, you will see the subject and the lines behind it, but you will lose the feeling of depth. So imagine moving the camera around 45 degrees from the wall towards the subject. You will see the subject and you will see the lines being wide from the beginning of the frame and becoming narrower towards the end of the photo. In a way, it gives it a feeling of depth. So the second type is the 45 degrees or the angled lines. How do we take a shot using the leading lines technique? One, we need to find the lines or create them. Check in your environment, where do you find any sort of lines, and utilize them. If not, try to create them. For example, having the subject and the shadow of it pointing at it can be a way of creating them. The second point is finding the point where you want to place the subject at. Would you like the subject to be at the end of the lines or at the beginning of the lines, showing the viewer where the subject is heading to? Three, find a good angle to the subject and the lines behind it. As I said earlier, it's good to have a 45 degrees angle from the wall or from the subject and the lines behind it to give it a feeling of depth for the photo. Fourth point and the last one, just simply take the shot. I hope that you have learned something new today from my video. If so, please let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like my video. Take some shots using the reading lines technique and share them with me on my Instagram account, Iyad_Hudayb. Until I see you again, bye bye.